Hello and welcome, brothers. I promised you this and I have delivered. I promised you a video of a kit bashing of this new Space Marine Vanguard Veteran Squad box set, Warhammer 40,000 of course, it says it at the top, and a Space Marine Blood Angels Death Company box set. Essentially, I made 5 Vanguard Veterans. I'll move them over here. So these are the 5 I made. 2 Thunder Hammers, 2 sets of Lightning Claws, and a veteran with veteran sergeant with a relic blade and a grav pistol. So I made the 5 miniatures and I had a load of bits left over. So I bought the Death Company box set because they've got jump packs and they've got decent posability options, you'd say. And so I made another 5 out of literally just the Vanguard set and the Death Company set. So these are the 5 I made. So I used the remaining 2 sets of Lightning Claws and I used the remaining Thunder Hammers and Storm Shields. It is important to note that with the Death Company box set you do get kind of like a Thunder Hammer, but the Space Marine is holding it with 2 hands. So you may want to kit bash one of the Storm Shields onto the other hand or do something that way, but I thought that would be quite interesting. I didn't use any other parts from my bits box or spare parts box. I literally only used the Vanguard box set parts and the Death Company box set parts. Didn't use any extra bits. I'll show you them one by one, these extra models I made. I would suggest doing this if you're a Blood Angels player, or if you're a Space Marine, if your chapter is a Space Marine chapter that is a successor to Blood Angels chapter, then I would suggest you do that as well. If you're just a normal Space Marine chapter or Ultramarines or something like that, you might not be able to get away with it, but it's completely up to you, isn't it? I did it because sometimes my Space Marines are Blood Angels or Blood Angels successor, so I can kind of get away with it a little bit, and I do think the models are cooler in the Death Company than your standard Assault Marine box set. Anyway, it's up to you whether you want to use these or not, because they do have these blood drops on them. You can clip them off. I'm going to keep them on for decoration. I used the sword from the Death Company box set. I used the plasma pistol from the Vanguard box set. The legs, the chest piece, the head and the backpack are all from the Death Company. The shoulder pads are from the Vanguard box set though. So that's another sergeant that I made. I could have just had him with a chainsword and have him as a normal Vanguard, but at least this way it gives me an option to make 2 squads of 5 by having another sergeant. The Lightning Claw Vanguards, he just wants a hug. But the shoulder pads, that one's from the Vanguard, from the Death Company, head's from the Vanguard, the Lightning Claws obviously from the Vanguard, and everything else is from the Death Company. I think that model works quite well. I might have chosen a different head, but there we go. The other Lightning Claw Marine. This right arm is always difficult to get in a decent pose, and it's difficult to... This pose is very similar to this pose. Very similar. Hopefully I can pull it off when it comes to painting, but that's the only model that kind of looks very similar or the same. I put an extra purity seal on this pad, and that's the only thing from the Vanguard is the shoulder pad and the Lightning Claws and the helmet or head. Everything else from the Death Company. So that's the other Lightning Claw Marine. Thunder Hammer and Storm Shields. I like this Space Marine's pose. It's really cool. He's either lifting off or touching down. I'd like to think that he's just touching down, just gently touching down. He's got his Thunder Hammer and his Storm Shield just at his side as he lands in difficult terrain or something like that. And it's just a really nice pose. Thunder Hammer and Storm Shield are from the Vanguard. Everything else, including the helmet, is from the Death Company. And finally, the other Storm Shield, Thunder Hammer. He's in quite a defensive position. The arm and the wrist are at a little bit of an awkward angle. I may change that a little bit, but at the moment that doesn't look too bad, and hopefully I'll be able to paint it up, cover it up with the painting. I think just that shoulder pad and the weapons are from the Vanguard, everything else from the Death Company. I did have a lot of things left over, because with the Death Company you get a load of other chain swords and bolt pistols and a power fist, and I think you get well, I use the power sword, but you get extra things. You get the pistols, like you get the hand flamers and the inferno pistols, which are essentially just the little mini melter pistols basically. But I did have a fair few bits left over from the Death Company set. A load of shoulder pads, which I'll be using for another tactical squad at some point. But I just thought this is a useful video just to show you, if you've got a Vanguard squad and you want to double up your Vanguard Veterans. I say double up in a way because you could just have him with just a normal chain sword, or just say that that's just a close combat weapon. Then I think you could use him and just say his pistol's a bolt pistol or something, and then you can have 10. I think I had 5 already, so I've now got 15 in the whole of the army. But I think it's just useful to show you what you can make if you kitbashed the spare weapons from a Vanguard set to a Death Company set. Hope that's been useful, just to show you how you double up. If you have liked this video at all, if you thought it useful one bit, please do comment, rate and subscribe. It does help me out. Thank you very much for joining me today and watching. The Emperor Protects.